Hello, in this video I want to explain to you, in a simple way, what passive income is and its types, the benefits of compound interest, and what financial freedom consists of. I will also talk about which ones I believe really work for almost everyone, not those wonderful tales or half-truths spread by many supposed experts. Passive income is generated with minimal continuous effort once an initial source of income is established. We're talking about digital services, affiliate websites, rentals, cryptocurrency investment, among others. Regarding compound interest, the concept is very simple yet wonderful once understood. It's when generated interests are added to the initial capital, and in subsequent periods, interest is calculated on the total sum, initial capital plus accumulated interests. This offers exponential growth of funds over time. The interests you generate should always be reinvested to take advantage of their multiplying effect on your future earnings. As for financial freedom, we can define it as the ability to have enough passive income to cover your expenses and reach your goals without the need to work actively. Throughout this video, I'll explain how I managed to achieve financial freedom at the age of 45, and how for a few years now, I've been living where I want, with whom I want, and have recurring income exceeding €7,000 per month. My first jobs as an employee allowed me to earn a good salary. This enabled me to save, and simultaneously, I invested in one of my favorite hobbies, real estate investment. I started buying cheap apartments in humble neighborhoods, renovating them, and selling them. Although I dedicated no more than 5% of my time to this, there came a point where it made me more money than my 12-hour daily job. I can't deny that the results were very positive. However, with the real estate crisis of 2008, the reality shattered the belief that housing prices will never go down. With all my savings invested in 4 properties bought and renovated for sale, the market collapsed in 2008 like few crises I've seen. I lost money on several properties and had to rent some out. Buying, renovating, and renting requires having significant savings initially, not only for the property itself but also for taxes, renovations, and maintenance costs until its sale. Therefore, although it was my main source of wealth and allowed me to have my investment capital, today I don't consider it as beneficial. Let's now talk about the topic of renting. Normally, rental yields of 6% are talked about, but in small cities, it's lower, and there are risks of unpaid rents, damages to the property not covered by the deposit, or the tenant declaring vulnerability and you not being able to evict them for more than 2 years. Therefore, net profitability is closer to 4–5%. There's also vacational rental. I had 3 properties by the beach, and I can say I obtained great profitability, exceeding 10% net. Initially, I managed the rentals myself and handled all the rental platform procedures, client reception, cleanings, etc., which is far from passive and involves a lot of work and problems with clients who demand increasing quality every day. When you decide to outsource the management to improve your quality of life, the returns decrease to 7%. Another example in the real estate world that I've tried is real estate auctions. I bought a pretty good course. But there's always a catch that's hidden or not mentioned. If your savings are normal, there's so much competition for cheap properties that in the end, you buy almost at market price plus 2 years of legal problems. Other passive income sources include digital services. There's the business, for example, of creating websites offering information about products, services, blogs with advertising links, etc. I tried creating a website dedicated to the world of children. I followed the steps of the experts and invested in creating links to other blogs to gain authority, paid for advertising on Facebook, Google AdSense, used Instagram, and other networks. But gaining authority and visits is almost impossible and yielded very little. Furthermore, this business isn't very passive either. You have to constantly strive not to be forgotten among the other 1,000 course sellers. And let's talk about one of the kings of passive income in recent years, cryptocurrencies. Only a belief that they will grow infinitely among their fans makes people continue to invest in something that nobody understands, and they won't understand when one day they log into their wallet and see that their money is gone. and they won't know where the wind that took it came from. I've tried them, of course, and when I was investing, I didn't know why or how. I've tried buying and leaving them there dormant, and also acting as a dealer and buying selling intraday or even buying selling instantly. The latter was even fun, but I don't think it's a calm or lasting source of passive income. This way, I wouldn't want to risk my retirement pension, hoping that one morning I wake up and 70% of my income has disappeared without knowing how or why. We also talk about passive income with affiliate websites, recommending products from others on blogs, websites, and social networks and earning a commission after their sale. We've already discussed how difficult it is in terms of time, knowledge of social networks, and money invested in advertising needed to attract customers, and then for a small percentage to click on the affiliate link and then actually make a purchase. One of the most traditional, well-known, and real options for passive income is buying and selling stocks, bonds, ETFs, funds, etc. It's true that in the long term, the stock market tends to offer profits. You may lose for a few years, but if you keep your nerves, economic cycles make it eventually rise, and at the end of your life, you hope that the upward cycles have been greater than the downward ones. But in the end, when you sell, the management company's fees, bank fees, and finally the tax agency that demands its share come. And to finish, we come to the world of Amazon FBA. Possibly, alongside cryptocurrencies, you'll find the highest number of courses and gurus talking about their courses to get rich very quickly. And how? Very easy, by going to Alibaba, buying cheap, and selling at a higher price on Amazon. The most exaggerated gurus encourage you to buy their course to start generating money in 60 days with an investment starting from €2,000. The reality is that it may take more than 6 months, require a minimum of €10,000, and many hours of dedication. And finally, we arrive at the last source of passive income, known as peer-to-peer lending, crowdfunding or crowdlending, and yes, this is currently, and after trying many other means of investment, more or less passive, what I've been dedicating myself to body and soul for about 5 years now. For those who have never heard of this investment method, it's very simple to explain and understand. Banks take money from savers and lend it. Similarly, there are originating companies that offer loans to individuals and companies, and through investment platforms, savers are allowed to lend money in exchange for an interest rate that usually hovers around 10% in many cases. The investor receives interest daily, monthly, or at the end of the loan term. Thus, these interests can be immediately reinvested into another investment that will continue to produce new interests that you can reinvest again, making compound interest work. In the description, I'll provide links to videos where I discuss some of them and some websites that present many of them. Where to invest will depend on the investor's appetite for one sector or another. Some prefer to invest more in real estate, while others prefer agriculture. There's also risk-taking. Riskier loans offer more interest, and safer ones offer less. And why do I think these investments are among the best as a source of passive income? The investment can be as low as €10 in many loans, or €50 or €100, but I love the fact that I prefer to take a risk by leaving €10 to 100 people than €1,000 to just one. To avoid risks, I diversify among many investment platforms, which in turn invest in a multitude of originating companies, and I also invest small amounts among a multitude of loans. The idea of investment is great. To avoid risks, I diversify among many investment platforms that in turn invest in a multitude of originating companies, and I invest small amounts among a multitude of loans. It's one of the few passive incomes that grants financial freedom because once invested, you don't need to do anything else, although like any investment, it's always recommended to keep an eye on the market. Many platforms offer another layer of security called buyback, which is a repurchase obligation. It's a commitment that the loan originator offers to the investor by repurchasing the loan if, within 60-90 days of the due date, the debtor hasn't fulfilled their commitment. Some platforms also offer a secondary market that helps provide greater liquidity to the market. Therefore, it's an investment you can make with very little capital. where you can invest your money every 30 or 90 days by automatically reinvesting it, where you can choose the country to invest in, the type of loan, term, and more, which in my opinion makes it a passive income and a financial freedom closest to its purest definition. So, in my case, in 5 years, although you already know the phrase, past profits do not guarantee future profits, I've obtained a net return for myself and my clients exceeding 11.5%. We can say that a 10% return is a very certain goal to be assured by assuming medium-risk investments. Where I invest is where my clients invest, and since most of the time my portfolio is significantly higher than theirs, they can be assured that I'm not interested in taking unnecessary risks when personally I would be the one who would lose the most. For more information or advice, I'll be delighted to help you from carliaconsulting@hotmail.com. I hope I've managed to convey a lot of information in just 10 minutes to keep it from being too heavy. I look forward to your comments, and hopefully, we can work together if you decide that my knowledge about passive investments can help you. Regards, and if you made it to the end, which isn't easy, thank you so much.